Coming up on The Shield, the Torch celebrates their 100th year of serving the Valparaiso community.
And we also tell you how you can receive the most up-to-date information regarding winter weather on campus.
We've only seen a couple flurries here and there. As we can see, the west coast of Michigan got the majority of that lake effect snow. And do we have a chance for snow coming up this week? We'll take a look at that, all that, and more coming up on this edition of The Shield.
I'm Teddy Riethmeier. Thank you for joining us here on The Shield. This year is a monumental year for all the media organizations across campus.
And I'm Aimee Heyden. 2 weeks ago, WVUR 95.1 FM celebrated its 54th birthday, and now to the 100th birthday of the Torch.
VUTV got an exclusive look inside the Torch office as they prepared for what they described as their biggest college paper of their collegiate career.
Schnabel Hall Room 35 is generally always busy on Thursday nights, but this past Thursday was especially busy for the editors of the Torch. Well over 1,000 issues have circulated around the Valparaiso University campus, all leading up to the centennial issue in 2014. Faculty advisor to the Torch, Paul Oren, explained why this issue was so important to the staff.
I've had so many of the students who are on the Torch staff come up to me over the last couple of weeks, say they've had so much fun researching the university and really, diving into the history, not only of the Torch, but of Valparaiso University. And I think it's a lost art history, people seeing where we came from, they understanding that the students that came here in 1914, 1944, 1994, they're really actually the same as the students today. They don't have the phones, they don't have the internet, they don't have all that, but at the end of the day, they packed their car, they came to Valpo, and they made a name for themselves over their 4 years they were here.
This year was special not only with the birthday celebration, but also because for the first time in 10 years, the Torch launched this school year with a brand new look.
Definitely wanted to revamp the image of the Torch. It had been 10 years since a previous redesign, and I felt it was time to bring it into this decade. Coming into newer designs, I researched other newspapers like the New Guardian and even Chicago Tribune, papers that we see all the time, and saw what worked for them and said, how could we incorporate this into our design? How could we give it a facelift and make it feel more modern, I guess.
This issue of the Torch required more work than any other issue Editor-in-Chief Angie Misso and her staff had ever done.
This is a huge project in that it's a comprehensive history of the past century, whereas every other issue is a week-by-week account. Maybe maxing coverage of a few weeks if it's a bigger story, if we have new things coming up, new information. But this required editors to go into the archives in the library and find the microfilm of the first 20 years of the Torch publication and find out just exactly where we came from, what we were doing, and why.
And if you haven't picked up the latest edition of the Torch, you can pick it up on campus or online at valpotorch.com.
Well, last Thursday, the O&P office held their first Careers in Communications panel for students. This core fifth hour approved event brought professionals ranging from work in freelance to healthcare, PR, to broadcast media. Students were able to ask questions regarding their fields of interest. The goal of the event was to show students that while the field of communications is competitive, the opportunities for all students are available through internships and job shadows. VUTV will have the complete panel discussion airing later this week right here on Channel 82.
Forecasting winter weather is sometimes difficult given our proximity to the lake. Storm Shield meteorologist Andrew Riethmeier explains how we can stay ahead of the storms thanks to social media.
Winter is often everyone's least favorite season of the year, but with the rise of social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, winter can be predicted much worse than it may actually be.
I don't really rely on Facebook. I have an app on my phone that I follow just day-by-day basis.
There are a lot of forecasters that enjoy giving wintertime predictions, and honestly I think it's more fun to predict something dramatic. Some of the forecasts are almost tongue-in-cheek, but they're forecasting, lots of people are forecasting a cold winter similar to last year. but there really aren't any objective methods that can be used to make that kind of dramatic sort of prediction.
With Facebook, you can tell if a site might be accurate by how many page likes it has. If it has a lot of page likes, then it could be a good source to get weather information. Also, look for the blue check mark that are located on Facebook and Twitter pages. This means that Facebook and Twitter have verified those pages. Another site you can always trust to get accurate weather information, though, is through the National Weather Service.
Now, with all the social media hype on the winter outlook, you can always trust NOAA, though. This is coming from the Climate Prediction Center. This is for the precipitation probability for December through February. It's predicting the southern regions of the country to be a little bit wetter. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean snow, but that does mean they could see more moisture than what they normally see between December and February. It'll be drier up on the west coast region, and also back here at home, it will be a little bit drier as well as far as precipitation goes. Now let's take a look at temperature probability from December to February. Again, it's going to be near 40% cooler than what it normally is for these 3 months in the wintertime period. It's going to be warmer on the west coast, and then up on the upper east coast, it's going to be still warmer than what it normally is. And then back here at home, it's going to have equal chances for temperatures across the winter period. So take this with a grain of salt if you would. But again, these are just predictions, and not even NOAA can predict what exactly will happen this upcoming winter. These are, again, just all based on predictions. So we'll just have to wait and see how this winter weather will shape up.
Speaking of that winter weather, we've seen a lot of snow, and now it's kind of unseasonably cold, it feels like. And we're going to toss it over now to Emily Kennedy, who's joining us for the first look at your Storm Shield weather forecast.
Yeah, Amy, it has been very cold outside as we have been below normal temperatures, which is in the low 40s actually. Those chilly temperatures coupled with some chances for snow into this week. And when will it warm up? We will take a look at that with my full forecast right after the break.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If Daniel won't change your mind, baby, right.
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
For over 100 years, VU has trusted the torch for reliable and accurate accounts of campus happenings. And with an end of a century, we would like to say thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Velpo.
We have been covering stories that will impact you both in print and online. For Player Spotlight and next week events, to the opinions you have, count on us as Valpo's most reliable source for campus happenings. 4-time winner of College Weekly of the Year, The Torch, home of the truth, celebrating 100 years of excellence in journalism.
Welcome back to The Shield. American aid worker and former soldier from Indianapolis was beheaded by ISIS this past weekend. The White House confirmed Sunday that a video of the beheading of American hostage Peter Kasich was authentic. The former U.S. Army Ranger had been working as a medic in Syria when he was captured more than a year ago. In a statement, President Obama said Kasich was taken from us in an act of pure evil by a terrorist group that the world rightly associates as inhumanity. Kasich is the 5th Westerner beheaded by ISIS since August.
And just before departing Australia following the G20 summit, President Obama took questions from reporters on the topic of terror threat from ISIS. President Obama again said there are no plans to send U.S. ground troops into Iraq, but he did note that it could change in an extreme situation.
Yes, there are always circumstances in which the United States might need to deploy U.S. ground troops. If we discovered that ISIL had gotten possession of a nuclear weapon and we had to run an operation to get it out of their hands, then yes, you can anticipate that not only would Chairman Dempsey recommend me sending U.S. ground troops to get that weapon out of their hands, but I would order it.
The parents of slain teenager Michael Brown were in Switzerland to speak to the UN Human Rights Panel about the shooting death of their son. They testified before a UN committee against torture, which also addresses police brutality and excessive force. Brown's parents say they want the world to know what is going on in Ferguson. The family's lawyer says the issue of violence at the hands of police needs to be addressed in Missouri.
Junior's life, given the situation that the officer was confronted with. And totally, I mean, the kid was running away from him, so it was not necessary for him to continue shooting at Michael as Michael Jr. was running away. So in that regard, that was totally a use of force that was unnecessary and a lack of appreciation for the life that he was about to take.
Comedian Bill Cosby is staying silent after sexual assault allegations were raised against him. Cosby's lawyer did, however, release a statement on his client's behalf Sunday and posted it on Cosby's website. It read, "Over the last several weeks, decade-old discredited allegations against Mr. Cosby have resurfaced. The fact that they are being repeated does not make them true. Mr. Cosby does intend to dignify these allegations with any comment."
One mall in New York is allegedly threatening retailers who do not welcome Thanksgiving shoppers at 6 p.m. with a $200 an hour fine. Andrea Marvin reports.
Stores in the Galleria Mall are preparing to open even earlier for Black Friday, this time on Thanksgiving.
There was a little controversy. They were talking about opening at 8 o'clock, then it went to 6 o'clock. And a lot of people said, oh, I'm not working at that time, you know. But they decided it was going to be 6 o'clock.
Employees and store managers tell us that was announced at a mall meeting about a week ago.
And now to ask people to break up that holiday and then come in and work, it's like going to be pulling teeth.
She says it's not fair to smaller businesses in the mall.
We got such short notice on it, and not having that time frame of, you know, we have just a couple weeks now that we need to be staffing for all of that.
Stores say they are not getting clear answers from mall management as to if they are going to be fined for not opening. Mall management told them, quote, "We caution you to open at 6 p.m. when the rest of the mall opens, and that it's mandatory." Several stores tell us they know there is a potential fine that exists if they don't open during the mall's normal hours. How much all depends on their lease. Stores have heard the fine could be up to $200 per hour.
I think it should be their choice if they want to open or not. Some businesses might not do real well, but they still have to open and pay employees.
We've reached out to the general manager both Friday and Saturday when we were told he'd be at the mall. We never heard back.
Next year, what's to stop them from opening at 4 or 3 or 10 o'clock in the morning?
The early shopping just concerns people who still value the importance of giving thanks.
It's a holiday with their families. It's like one of the holidays that we have left where people actually get together and eat together.
Just ahead, Storm Shield meteorologist Emily Kennedy will join us with your full Storm Shield weather forecast. Stay with us.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
And now your dependable and accurate weather forecast with meteorologist Emily Kennedy.
Welcome back from the break. Here is a look at your almanac and see just how cold it has been today. Reached a high around 19 degrees with a low overnight tonight at 13. The average is 48 degrees and the low of 33. So we are well below average, but as we can see, we're not quite to our record low, as the high record is 18 degrees. So we haven't quite dropped that low. We're just so close to it, and that was made back in 1997, and that will not be broken today. But here is a look at our RPM forecast model for temperatures. 22 in Valpo at 10 o'clock tonight, so it's going to be awfully chilly. You're going to want to make sure you bring your jacket with you and your winter coat and gloves. Wednesday, waking up tomorrow morning, 27 degrees here in Valpo. And across the board, it's going to heat up overall into the low 30s, 31 here in Valpo, 31 in Wheatfield. And if you're heading to Chicago, it's going to be 31 there as well. So overall, going to heat up into the lower 30s. And then here is a look at the wind chill. Although it has temperatures in the 30s, it is going to be very chilly. As we can see, 11 degrees here in Valpo, and then moving forward, 15 degrees Wednesday morning. So it's going to be very chilly. That wind is going to make things seem a whole lot chillier. And with frostbite, you're going to make sure that you are not outside for any longer than 30 minutes without appropriate clothing, as that is when frostbite can occur. And then Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. Is going to be around 13 and then sinking down to 12 with that wind shield. So here's a look at the forecast model. Snow missed us, headed off to the north of Michigan. We do have some cloud cover moving in overnight tonight, and those clouds will continue to build. We do have a chance for snow overnight tonight into Wednesday morning, as we can see that snow right off to our east on Wednesday morning, and then as continuing forward Wednesday afternoon, skies are going to begin to clear up, as we will see mostly sunny skies getting into Thursday 6 a.m. Pretty clear skies across the area for us here in Valpo. And then Thursday afternoon, those clouds moving in from the west. Tonight, though, we're going to look at that low of 13 degrees, partly cloudy, winds out of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. It is going to be awfully chilly tomorrow. 30 degrees, mostly cloudy, and gusting up to 30 miles per hour. And then here's a look at our 5-day forecast. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, high of 30, a low of 16 degrees overnight. And things are going to finally start to warm back up. As we can see, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to finally get up into the lower 40s on Saturday and Sunday, with some rain and snow showers heading as well.
So we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more cold weather coming back into our area. It's kind of feeling like winter's finally back.
Yeah, we are for sure. And it's finally going to be able to bring your umbrella back out instead of those winter hat and gloves. And sorry about the mic. Dropped the mic, slipped out of my hands as I was walking up here. So a little bit slippery.
Just got a little too excited. It's going to be slippery,
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
It's about to get with
I'm
the snow.
so excited. It's going to start to warm up that I've dropped my mic in the process. So
it is exciting. A little last bit of warmth, hopefully.
Yeah. Finally getting into this weekend. After all this cold, we are finally going to warm back up into the lower 40s, closer to our averages.
All right. Well, thanks, Emily. We'll have a lot more to cover in Valpo Athletics. Up next in sports, Parker Gatewood will recap a busy weekend for the Crusaders. Stay with us for the full details.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
And joining us now with sports is Parker Gatewood. And Parker, we saw a pretty busy weekend with a lot of fall sports ending their seasons, trying to get into the postseason, if you will. What
Absolutely. No, Aimee, I mean, for certain, there were a bevy of games and matches for Valpo fans to tune into this weekend. So let's waste no time and get right to it. The main event of the weekend was the women's soccer team heading to Notre Dame for the NCAA tournament. While they played well, the Crusaders were virtually on defense for the entire match, and it seemed as though their defense may be enough to force overtime. But with 50 seconds left to go in regulation, the Irish Katie Olmstead scored the match's only goal to give Notre Dame the win. Notre Dame outshot Valpo 25-1. On to the gridiron, where the football team took their talents to the beautiful city of San Diego, California, to take on the Toreros. The Crusaders played absolutely stellar football against the best team in the PFL and were leading with seconds left in the game. However, San Diego had the answer. They ran the infamous Hail Mary as time expired and connected on the play to defeat the Crusaders by the score of 32-27. Over to the hardwood, where the volleyball team traveled to Chicago to finish off their regular season against UIC. The game plan going into the match was to control one of the best hitters in the Horizon League in Stephanie Yancey. Well, not only did they succeed there, but they also played dominant volleyball and took the match in straight sets. The Crusaders travel to Rochester, Michigan this week to be the 3 seed in the Horizon League tournament. Lastly, basketball season is underway. The men's team defeated East Tennessee State in their first match of the season, and after the win, they took on the Mizzou Tigers, and they kept it close for the majority of the game, but with Alec Peters in foul trouble, the Tigers pulled away late, and Valpo lost the game 56-41. The women's season also tipped off this past weekend. The Crusaders' home opener was against rival Butler. The girls played extremely well, and they took an 11-point lead into the first half. But the second half was the real story. Valpo scored 58 points in half number 2 and won the game by the final score of 91-57. And guys, it really was an exciting week in Valpo athletics.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Parker and I actually traveled out to Chicago and encountered some car trouble, but the Crusaders encountered no such trouble as they were definitely dominant throughout the weekend.
No, absolutely. And again, the Horizon League tournament coming up, they're going to have a few games. Hopefully they'll make it to Sunday to close things out. Maybe we get to the NCAA tournament in other sports. So.
Yeah, we can always hope.
We'll see.
And well, thanks, Parker. For after the break, Emily is back for a last look at your Valpo weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If dying young won't change your mind, baby, right.
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
What makes VU Science Olympiad so special to me is that it's really an amazing opportunity that brings literally hundreds of middle and high school students to campus to pursue their passion for science.
There are different events focused on biology, chemistry, physics, and also some engineering type events where they build things and bring them to the competition to test them. So it's great for students to learn more about the sciences, get involved.
Emily Kennedy joins us for a final look at your Storm Shield weather forecast. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of wishing for a little bit more warm weather just before the winter season really begins.
Yeah. Well, the next couple of days it is going to be awfully chilly as tomorrow into the next couple of days we're going to be in the 20s for our highs, low 30s, and then overnight, as you can see, we're going to be sinking down into the teens the next couple of nights. So it's going to be very cold, but the promising weather is coming this weekend. It's going to start to warm back up, as we can see on Sunday into Monday. Those temperatures are finally going to be warming up into the lower 40s, and we do have some chance of snow overnight tonight and into the weekend. We do have a colder, some snow, as well as what gets warmer. We're going to have a chance for rain getting into Sunday and Monday. So just got to hold out a little bit longer, and we will see those warmer temperatures again.
Yeah, and this kind of sounds good. Like, I'm ready for winter. I'm ready for the holiday season and all that. I'm not so ready to get rid of the warm weather yet.
Yeah, I know, me either. What about you, Parker? I know you play sports. Are you ready to give up those outdoor sports?
You know, I'm from Las Vegas, guys, and I love the warm weather personally. So the cold weather around this time of year, not a big fan. But a lot of sports indoors around this time of year, so we're okay.
All right, you'll be okay. Yeah.
And I gotta say, I mean, I'm not against being able to take the winter hat off and get my hair, keep it from being messed up, you know.
Right,
I'm always about
exactly.
that.
All right, there you go.
But we've seen the last couple of days, so it's been really windy. So even with the hat off, your hair is
It's
still
always a
blowing all over the
struggle.
place.
It's a constant struggle.
It is a constant
Yeah,
struggle.
weather in Indiana is pretty unpredictable, especially coming around this time of year.
I'd say so.
All right. Well, thanks, Emily. Thanks, Parker. And that's going to wrap it up for this edition of The Shield. I'm Aimee Heyden.
And I'm Teddy Riethmeier. For Emily, Parker, and all of us here at VUTV, have a great Thanksgiving break. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.